It is January 14th. It is a Monday. And of course, this is the video log that takes 30,000 to a million. So after I take you through the account and show you what's been up and what's been down and what kind of moves I've been making through the week, I will tell you what I plan on doing with regards to leverage and how that is going to be working in my future plans and what I'm hoping happens in the near future and what I think is going to happen based on my expectations in two big regards. One, the silver market, and two, the market, which is the stock market, namely the S&P 500 stocks in general. So let's go into the account. I will show you what I'm sitting at right now, which is 79,785.86. Some of this gain doesn't really count because after hours gain from Apple, against which I have a call sold. So a lot of those gains are not real. Maybe like $200-300 of those. Still at an all-time high, which is great. If you look at the week performance here, I'm up 1.95% for the week, which is more than the market. Cha-ching, beating the market yet again. That's fantastic. Love it. Now, let's take a look at the market. Speaking of the market, let's take a look at what it's been doing. All right. What has Little Spy been doing? SPY being the ETF, the exchange traded fund, representing the largest market capitalization judged stocks in the United States, based off in the United States. And this index here, you can see the week performance at 1.71. This index here has been on an absolute tear in the last 5 years, up 60.73%. Now, look at this parabolic rise here, rebounding off of the lows in December 24th, I believe, in 2018. It's up almost more than 40%. It's up 43% since then. There was a meaningful correction here from January 2018 to the end of 2019, but because following this really sharp rise, but now it looks like this trend is continuing. It's trying to catch up to the previous trend that it made ever since the lows of 2016. But it's pretty spectacular. I mean, if you count from here, that's over 70. That's like 70% rise in 3 years or so. A little bit over 3 years, which is really, really, really large for something like the U.S. market. The valuations are really high. One thing that we're going to show right now is Apple. Now, Apple, you don't look at this number here. I have the call sold, so I don't really get any of these gains. I wish I had held on to Apple, all 140 shares of them, but I just don't. And I actually sold 10 shares recently, for better or for worse. So I only really have 30 shares, and I'm planning on even selling them because look at this action right here. What in the world is going on? So 2.14 on the day, 6.27 on the week, 14.23 on the month. Can you believe that? 3 months, 34%. 1 year, year over year, 111% appreciation in a stock value. What the serious? I don't even understand. It was at 15 PE there at the lows. Now it's like over 26. But PE means price to earnings ratio. But I'm just speechless. Look at this bow right here. This is definitely some kind of parabolic move, and I don't know when it's gonna end, but I want to take less and less part of this because it's just stupid right now. I mean, it's incredible how much it's risen. It's absolutely mind-numbing. I can't even believe it. So that's why I hold so less of Apple, so much less. And I'm planning on even getting rid of 10 or 20 even more shares and just keeping 10 shares just for the kicks and see how far it rides. But it's incredible, and I wouldn't dare short this thing. No, oh, no, sir. So, anyways, this Apple is now a very small player in my account. One thing that did do pretty well, though, is uranium, namely Cameco, and I used this little rise over $9 today to boost up the amount of shares that I can put up for collateral, so I can sell call options against my shares, covered call options, in order to collect that premium. And as time decays away, the option contract. So you can see them right here. I sold some calls, some $9 calls, some $9.5 calls, a $10 call here on March 30th, and there's a lot of them expiring this Friday. So I have a $12 call expiring, $8 put expiring, and an $11 call expiring. Give me 1 second here. All right, back to the account. So that's been nice, and I expect that to continue to help me out. And now, as far as buying power, well, I have 660, but that's not the full story here. I forget where you can see how much you can. On the phone, it's real easy. You just tap the money number over, but on the website, it's a little tricky to figure out where exactly the margin available margin is on the website. So I'm not even going to attempt to find out. But in general, I have. Well, let me also show you this. I've purchased BND, which is just U.S. bonds, and I also have another over $5,000 in PCY, which is emerging market bonds. So that makes a total of $9,000, and plus, I have. I didn't show you any of this. This is the all-time chart. I was looking for the the leverage. Anyway, so this is BND. I have $4,000. PCY's 5,000, and in general, I have another over $90,000 available margin on Robinhood. So it's kind of obvious that I'm really waiting for a pullback at this point. Now, I know that's an unhealthy thing to do in general when you are investing, because it's better to be invested and not. Like many studies have shown this, that people who wait to be invested generally, make more money over time, over many years, even if they happen to hit every single peak. Excuse me. Even if they happen to, it's almost 1 a.m. here. Even if they hit every single peak, they're still better off investing at the peaks than waiting and to buy on dips. And the difference between those who buy on extreme dips and at the peaks is not that big over a long period of time. But even knowing this, my goal here is to beat the market, and I want to beat it by a lot. I want to smack it down. The market being the S&P 500 index, which is one measure that investors measure themselves against. Only 10% manage to beat the market on any given year. And not only that, but even less that can do it 2 years in a row, even 3 years in a row. Over the long run, over 20 years, on less than 1% beat the market. That would be like your Warren Buffetts of the world and your John Tudors and whatever, Carl Icahns or whatever. But anyway, so I have basically 100 grand worth of buying power right now. When it does drop the market, that will be a little bit decreased because the principal will be a little bit smaller. So I won't have as much. Maybe I have 90 if there's a big, like 40% drop, 30% drop in the market, something like that. I have it offset a little bit, and because I have bonds and things like that, it's not going to drop with the market. But in any case, I'm really positioned for a drop at this point. Like, I'm kind of ready for it to correct. It might not for quite some time. This looks like there could be a blow off top going up, and of course, like I've mentioned in previous video logs, I am not short the market, right? I always want to be at least 55% long on the market, and I've explained my reasoning as to why in other videos. So here I am, I'm sitting at close to that. I mean, I'm probably, bullish about 70%. But, that 30%, I'm ready to turn it around and put it right back to work. I really want to sell some Apple puts. I really want to, like, play some Apple cards. And I'm ready for a correction, honestly. Do I wish it would happen? No, but I know it's gonna happen eventually. It might as well just happen now. I want to use some leverage, and I want to make a lot of money doing it on the bounce back up. And there is gonna be a bounce back up. There's always a bounce back up as long as the central bank is in play. So there you go. I don't want to buy at the peak though because I want to race. I want to make sure that I am beating the market. So that's why I'm waiting. You know who else is waiting? Warren Buffett. He's got like 140 some billion dollars in cash. Now I don't have for 140 billion in cash, and by him I mean his company. But I have $9,000 in bonds that I'm ready to roll over, and like I said, 90,000 in potential leverage. I wouldn't use all of 90,000 unless the market corrected like 50%. So where I can get some really really good deals on companies, and I'm probably gonna use like 30,000 and then 60,000 on Apple puts if the price hits around 300 or less of the company, and then the last 30,000 I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I might just even sell another put and see how it goes, but a different price range, and or I can just roll it in something else that I find and I think it's good value at the time. I might even just put it in the market or buy some market calls. Who knows? I don't know. I can't tell for a fact. All right. I think that's it. Those are my plans. Oh, the silver market. I haven't talked about a silver market. Still sticking with the plans. I think this is a correction within that little bull that silver is gonna eventually experience during the next few months. I think it's probably gonna go to $20, maybe 19, $20. At which point I plan on maybe even more. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm trying to exit this EXK position that I have, and obviously I want to cash in on my silver calls. Let's take a look at them real quick. I don't know where they're at honestly right now. I think, let's see if I'm in, I think I'm positive territory. So I'm up 48.85% on the silver calls, even though today I was down 4.5%, nearly $55. I'm still up $384 on these calls. So there you go. That's the word. All right. I'm going to leave you all right here. Waiting for this leverage thing to work out. I want to make another big move just like I did over here. Let me show you the old time chart. Over here in December 24th, I met that drop with a nice big leverage play, and that's why the account shot up like this. These gains over here have been a little bit more natural. There hasn't been any leverage used, so that's why it looks a little slower. But I plan on accelerating again once I get the chance. So hopefully things work out. If not, it will be just a steady grind forward, and I'm okay with both cases. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep making money on Cameco, and hopefully uranium rises eventually and I make even more money. But that's, that's the plans. That's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully you're beating me, and hopefully you're beating the market. That's for sure. Yeah, if you're beating me, like, I definitely want to know, and even if you're not. So let me know how y'all are doing. I'm gonna leave you right here, and I will try to make another video soon. Maybe not tomorrow, but it's definitely by Thursday night. All right, I think that's it for now. Peace out. So thank you, Short Clip, for the introduction. Let me get some water.